And just for fun, we dip it into the gasoline. Now watch,
Really?
so brand
Yes.
new
Oh my
box.
Shit, what is noises? I think that car's broken.
1, 2, 3.
Oh my God.
Hi, I'm Christian.
And I'm Vera.
And in this episode, we want to investigate how our Discovery 3 and Discovery 4 starts in cold weather, and we want to use high-tech diagnostic tools and investigate how the glow plugs work. So,
Hope you enjoy the video.
Morning. Yeah. I thought we're gonna make a video about cold climates. This might be really a strange thing, but cold climates happens in certain areas of the globe where it gets so cold that water actually turns to ice. So you may have heard about that in school, but this cold climate also affects how vehicles behave, and the manufacturers do special things to make the vehicle compatible against these cold climates, and I thought we show you about this. So sorry that this video might not be interesting for people living in Norway or in Canada, but it's dedicated for the people living in really warm climates and wearing sandals whole year round. The first thing is, when you want to start your vehicle in cold climate, you got to make sure that you have all your auxiliary devices off. You got to turn the ones off you can turn off right away, which is, for example, the windshield wipers. Otherwise, they go over the frozen windshield. And by the way, this layer, you can scrape that off on the outside, and it's not a broken windshield.
don't you find that really interesting? You know, I always wanted to be a school teacher.
You got to turn all your stuff off. So I have my windshield wiper off. I got to turn off the blower. Now I got a vehicle where only the ignition is on. And what diesel vehicles do is they actually have something what's called a glow plug. And that glow plug is used in cold weather. We want to show you how that works.
See, the Discovery 3 has an indicator of the temperature.
In our hemisphere, it happens that this little symbol here indicates that the temperature is below 4 or at 4 degrees. This represents a snowflake. You can Google what that is. That has to do with that phenomenon that when you drive around on the road here somewhere, the road actually may collect moisture overnight, and that moisture freezes up in the same way as your windshield freezes up, and then the road gets all slippery. No, we don't have red dust on our roads. This doesn't work here. So what I wanted to show you is how the vehicle starts in cold climate. So when I turn the vehicle on, there is another phenomenon I can show you here, which is this little spiral here. Yeah, this little spiral means the glow plugs are actuated. The duration of that light being on when you first start the vehicle has nothing to do with the duration which the glow plugs are glowing. The workshop manual actually says that the indicator light corresponds to the duration of the glow plugs being actuated. In some conditions it doesn't turn on, which means it appears that we have then Australian temperatures and it's not using that. I'm gonna count how long it's on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 seconds. What is a glow plug? You want to explain this?
Oh, please don't.
Each of the cylinder have in the cylinder heads, where inferior engines have their spark plugs, they have glow plugs. And those glow plugs actually glow. You got to imagine them like a candlelight in church stuck into the cylinder, except that it doesn't have a flame. It just has the wick, and the wick is glowing. And it is actuated by electrical current. And when the electrical current goes through that glow plug, the tip starts to glow, red glowing, like a piece of iron you put in your forge. They kind of help the diesel mixture to ignite easier. The glow plugs are also used in the first few seconds after the vehicle starts up. It needs that to help that combustion. Otherwise your vehicle is rattling. So when you start it up in the morning and it's shaking, that is an indication that you may have bad glow plugs. So we're gonna try this now here on Vera's car. I'm gonna be quiet for a second, believe it or not.
Are you excited? Starting the vehicle in a temperature which doesn't exist in some countries. Watch it.
Well, I don't really feel it shaking.
Well, because we cycled the glow plugs at least 4 or 5 times.
Yes, but according to the manual, it is utilizing the glow plugs also after start to help that combustion. What you guys may have noticed is how long it took to start the vehicle. It cranked at least 2 or 3 revolutions before it fired up.
Yes, and Christian is completely stressed out about it and wants to take my engine out and apart.
Prolonged cranking in cold weather conditions is really, really harmful for a Discovery engine. And what happens there, or why is that, is simply because the oil pump during the crank cycle does not get enough revolutions to build up in a sufficient oil pressure. First, when the vehicle starts and it goes up to its 800 or so RPM, that is being built up. So when you have prolonged cranking with a battery which is not completely healthy, you're not delivering enough oil quick enough to the crankshaft main bearings, and that will destroy them. It can accelerate that crankshaft failure, what we all know about, significantly. Now, luckily, we don't have such cold climates up here very often, and also I maintain our batteries in a good and healthy level. This way, we get maximum cranking power when we start the vehicle. This is quite important. Now, when this light goes on, you don't really know if your glow plugs are working. I will show you now how you check if your glow plugs are still working, at least with a 80 to 90% probability. So let's do that. You start by opening the hood. Yeah?
The bonnet.
Sorry, it's a bonnet. We gotta take our engine cover off. You see here on top of the TDV6 engine are these 2 plugs here. This plug and this plug. And each of these plugs contains 3 wires. Now, these 3 wires go to the glow plugs of this cylinder bank. 1, 2, 3. These 3 wires go to this cylinder block. 1, 2, 3. Maybe I should quickly get a glow plug and show how it looks like.
Do we have one?
Yeah, we took out Fabian's.
And we took out Fabian's. Thank God we have a spare part car now. And we can show you everything. That car is still not going anywhere. We are still waiting for parts. You have the glow plugs outside?
Yeah, these are out of Fabian's trash pile.
That's his trash pile.
This is Fabian's trash pile. Stuff we replaced on his car.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. These we took out of Fabian's car during a repair a little while back.
Hold them steady and close.
Yeah. So,
Look like a pen.
And of course Fabian bought really cheap ones, but these are the original ones. These start to glow right here when they get 12 volt applied to here, and this is ground. And there's an easy way now to check if these are working without taking them out, which of course taking something out of a Discovery is of course a major debacle. And we're talking major debacle, okay? Not the kind of Toyota debacle where you have a crescent wrench you use as a hammer. A Discovery debacle means you're using your tweezers and mirrors, okay? So this is what we're talking about, replacing these. And if you snap one off, you're anyway having a bad time. Changing these is a thing on its own, not covered in this video. We'll link the video we had made about this. You got to go all the way to the end to see how we changed the glow plugs.
The ducks.
Okay. Now what I got here is a cheap Chinese.
Of course.
Is a cheap Chinese current plier. The current plier means you can put this around a cable with DC current, and it will actually display the current flowing through this opening. So it's really, really convenient. It will tell me now what current is flowing through these 3 cables. Put this on carefully, not breaking my connector like this. The Australians need to be able to see those numbers. Let me turn on the ignition. I will tell you how long the glow plug indicator light is on. Watch it, and on, off.
Off now, and it goes down.
And it goes down.
Well, but not, but really slowly only. Now it's off again.
So.
Oh, my ETR valves are indeed working.
Yeah, they sound nice. What was the max reading you read?
I was supposed to pay attention.
Yes.
I think like 0.3.
No. Can we try it again and you
Yes.
And you pay now attention?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
On, off.
It was like 12.
How much was it?
12 point.
Okay, 12 point something.
Yeah.
Each of the glow plugs should pull around 15 amps. And we have 3 glow plugs right now connected through our amp meter. What do you conclude out of this?
2 are broken.
There you go. What we know is that 2 out of 3 do not pull current. We cannot conclude out of this now what the cause is. It could be a bad wiring, it could be a bad connection to the glow plug, but it could also be a bad glow plug. Please connect the amp meter to this wiring harness. Oh, this looks like an adventure. Okay.
Why
Okay,
do
now.
I have to do that?
Yeah, because
I'm always
that's
filming.
what we all want to see now. Okay, second hand. There we go.
Now I can film again.
Yeah, and I gonna cycle this bank now. On, off.
Oh, that was 38. So only here's only 1 broken.
How much was it?
38.
Okay, so my conclusion is all 3 are working. Because when we had 12 on the other side, and 3 times 12 is 36, we had
But you said 15.
15 is the nominal value, okay, for healthy new cars with a fresh battery. The current draw will drop significantly once the glow plugs start to glow. They increase their resistance in the moment where current flows. And because we cycled it already a few times, my conclusion is that they right now read 12 on initial startup, which means we have 3 functioning glow plugs over here. This is unbelievable.
Do you know how I scratch the window from ice? It's an adventure every morning.
I always wanted to have a truck where I don't get in and out. I wanted one where I climb up and down.
Yeah, I wanted
And I
to,
guess,
and I got one.
yeah, Vera got one.
Now the mall crawler is gonna get.
You're not paying attention. Before we do the mall crawler check, I want to show you a few more things here. Sorry for the car being so dirty, but we were actually out wheeling, okay?
Twice now.
Twice, and we really did maybe 10 miles of gravel. What I'm putting in here is our OBD2 gap tool, which we bought from a subscriber and had it then licensed again for this vehicle. And what I want to show you is what our battery voltage is right now. Man, with the gap tool you can actually turn the spin off.
Why didn't you do that already?
Because then you're gonna leave the key inside the car. And you see our battery, even after our playing around, still has 12.2 volts.
It should be 12.6.
It should be 12.5.
I need a new battery.
The Land Rover spec is 12.5. I got now the gap tool configured to show us engine speed, fuel pressure, the input-output status of the glow plug relay, and the voltage of the battery. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at this in a graph and see how that behaves on startup. So first I'm gonna turn the ignition on. And with ignition on, you can see we're getting here 0 engine speed. We got no fuel pressure yet. And we got the glow plugs on and they turned back off. Here I do this again. Watch the dark blue line, which is on the bottom right now. Watch it. There's our glow plug cycle. And you can see the voltage raise. And you can see how stable the voltage is, even though the glow plugs are on. See this little bump here? This bump indicates the glow plugs turned off and then the voltage increases again. Now watch the start cycle. I'm gonna start the vehicle now. Vera is so impressed. There. And I gonna freeze it.
It's rattling.
So what we can see here now is the red line is the engine RPM during cranking. You can see that the starter motor of the TDV6, and if the battery is good, is actually able to deliver the oil pressure just as quick as if the engine would be turning it in idle. Other thing you can see here is the purple line
you can see that my fuel pressure raises immediately up. So that indicates that I have a good high pressure fuel pump. If you would see here your cranking speed and your fuel pressure would build up only slowly, you would have a worn high pressure fuel pump, and then it would take some time before the diesel actually gets injected. And that will also prolong your cranking cycle.
I have a superior Discovery 3.
Go ahead, open the bonnet on it. I said bonnet. Okay. So let's do the same thing on this vehicle. Thank you for paying attention. So on this vehicle, you can see we got the same two plugs, even though this is the 3-liter SDV6. It's a much later engine. This is a 2013. The other one was a 2006. First, we're gonna do it on this side. Yeah, here. The car doesn't have a key I can put into the ignition, which has the big benefit that there is no bing. And when I turn now the ignition on, I gotta push this button here. Ignition on.
Either 24 or 28.
Now we'll put it over here on the other side.
So one is broken.
Yeah, there. Maybe you can look on the side.
Yeah. Wait a second. Yeah,
Okay.
now.
On. Off.
I think 31 was the highest. And then it dropped immediately to 20.
Both
So
of yours
31 was a high one.
31 was the high one. On the other bank was?
I think
28.
24 or 28. I didn't see it correctly.
Okay. I would say it is glowing on all 6 because they were similar, and it's unlikely that there is a glow plug on one bank broken and a glow plug on the other bank broken. So I think it only draws
But yeah.
10 amps per glow plug, but you never know. But we know they even.
And we still have deviations because we bought a cheap Chinese. Look, I almost fall down here. Can't open.
Okay,
Now.
I need to search the button.
Get tool.
Search for tool. Tool found. We got 12 volt, and you can see how the color turns red. The glow plug is here red, so unfortunately the order of the signals is confused. So watch red for the glow plugs and watch voltage light blue. And here we can see the voltage drop a little bit, and that's how long the car actuated the glow plug, so only like 2 seconds. Here?
Everything's more complicated with the Discovery
Yeah,
4.
it's purple is the engine speed, so you can see the starter motor here having a little bit of a difficulty to crank in the beginning to get that first revolution going. But I think I need a new battery, right?
Yep. Shit, what is noise is that? Oh my god, I think that car is broken. Do you guys hear that? Now I'm never ever gonna go anywhere with that car, ever again.
So, yeah, we had a little bit of a critter living in here. And
Yeah, but we bought that.
Yeah, but he deposited all his nuts and other goods in here. And at one point it just opened up and fell all down. I'm not gonna mess around with a bad battery when it gets colder. So rather do that now as a preventative maintenance action.
Are we gonna leave that on?
Yes.
Okay.
This is my charge plug.
The cable is over here. It goes all the way to the plug.
Let's do one more scientific experiment now using the glow plugs. To get another code, okay? We call this dressing in layers. I got a really healthy battery here with 14.24 volts. I got the polarity confused.
As an electrician.
Yeah, red is plus and plus is minus. So there we go. And here we got our amp meter. Something like this exists out of China. What we got here are the 6
glow plugs we took out of Fabian's car. If I would clamp this on here now,
Wait,
we would get a huge fire.
Really?
So, yes.
Oh my God.
Dip them here into gasoline.
What?
And then we check if they do anything. So this one doesn't do anything. We do the next one. Dip it into gasoline. Yeah. There we go. Nothing. This one is also done. You can also see this here on the indicator. This one. Ooh,
yeah.
There is actually a reading. And you
it's
can
smoking.
see the glow plug is going. And look at the current now. Look at the current behavior. Because we set in the vehicle here. Let me cool this down again.
It's just water.
I'm sorry. I misspoke. So now look at the indicator here at the amp meter, not at the glow plug, and see how it changes current once it fires up. 15, it was 15, and then it drops down significantly fast to 10. So this glow plug from Fabian is an original glow plug which we took out, and that's still working. We place it over here. What we took out, nothing, no current, nothing. Okay. He had 5 bad glow plugs, believe it or not.
Only one was working.
And who knows over what long and prolonged
Times they've been broken.
Time. If you have a summary of bad conditions in a TDV6, you end up with something like this, okay? You end up with a major engine damage. That's why I'm always preaching you gotta get everything healthy and everything right to make that engine last. It's not a Toyota, it's a Land Rover. It wants you from day one to become a mechanic or a banker.
Yeah.
So, our experiment is not done. We want to replace also the glow plugs on Vera's car. At one point you gotta try to replace them before it's too late. Because I'm so scientific, I bought the Bosch glow plugs because I believe they are a good brand, even so I complain sometimes over Bosch because they got this nice logo on here with that shiny original sticker, which is probably more money than the glow plug itself.
Actually, those are Fabian's glow plugs.
No, those are the glow plugs I bought for your vehicle.
Oh, okay.
This is what we took out of Fabian's car. And you gotta pay attention.
Yes.
And what I also got now is the brand Fabian bought.
Old and what?
Pay attention. I bought one of the glow plugs Fabian bought from Stark. He's got 6 of those in his car now, okay? Stark means strong in German, so maybe he thought this is a good brand. So the cheaper looking, shinier one is the Stark. The dull looking one is the Bosch. And this is the original Land Rover. This one here, what Fabian bought, and I only bought one sample, was $7.99. The Bosch was 15 euros, so nearly or more than twice as much. And now let's do a test what these glow plugs look like. And I gotta cut them all next to each other in the video so we see that. And just for fun, we dip it into the gasoline. Now watch it. Brand new Bosch. One, two, three.
Oh, shit. Yeah, so you're going to return the Bosch ones and get me those.
No. You're not paying attention and letting me preach, okay? So my conclusion is the original Land Rover plugs behave differently from the Bosch and the Stark. And in my opinion, they behave much better because their current did not drop down to 6 like the others. It stayed up to 10. So even after a prolonged period of time, they still pulled 10 amps.
He's going to send them back and get me the original Land Rover ones.
No, the original Land Rover ones is 25 euros a piece. You got
well, Christian, you want to take out the entire engine. Do you know how much that's going to cost? And you save like $5 or $10 on the glow plugs.
The Stark glow plug, we can't return because I already
bought
them a long time ago. So the Stark glow plugs are definitely the worst. They took the longest until they got red glowing. The Bosch ones actually kind of looked decent and also had a bright red glow, but their current dropped to 6 amps after some time, versus the original Land Rover was the fastest, I think, glowing, at least equivalent.
Yeah.
And it stayed up around 10 amps.
Yeah.
And do not use gasoline on your workbench.
So what brand is a Land Rover one?
It doesn't say. I already analyzed that.
Yeah.
The Land Rover one doesn't have a brand. And from the construction, it is definitely not looking like a Bosch. Okay. It has here different kind of an engraving. It also has a different surface finish. So I think the Bosch ones are what we're gonna put in your car. And you can see 5 bad ones. That's it. That's all I got. Okay, I'm
He's
empty.
actually done talking. That never happens.
What I've
Christian forgot to say something.
Yeah, I'm not done preaching. What I forgot to say is that we actually followed a Robbies guide for doing this test, for doing the glow plug test. So always check disco3.uk for the Robbies guide, in this case Robbies guide to the glow plugs. This is where I got most of that information from. As always, thank you, Robbie. And you all, thanks for watching, and we'll
See you next Sunday.
bye. We had to make this little video because we're not making any progress on our engine repair.
Still waiting for parts.
Yeah. So I'm gonna install this baby here. Mercedes-Benz. So better take a quick look at the battery box, that nothing got jammed up or damaged in any way. So this looks all good. Good. Oh, that does start a little better. Good. No faults after battery replacement. What happens now is the windows, probably the automatic power down and up don't work. See, what I gotta do is push it up, hold it, do it again, and now it will work. There. And I need to do that on all of them. So my Discovery 4 has the fuel burning heater and I can start it over a timer. I don't have a remote, but the software includes a timer function. And I did that. It also cycles the inside fan and the car is now nicely free of ice. And Vera's is all frozen up. Because here is this feature, timed climate. And there I had a single event timer set. And then it runs it for 20 minutes. And this is a function I could turn on with the gap tool. It was actually not on before.